Okay. So this is my Megaman level. I'm just going to go ahead and explain my thought process during my building of it. So initially, I couldn't really find a lot of my theme. I knew I wanted it to be like fire initially, but I had a lot of trouble finding like blocks that were like kind of fire themed. So I ended up choosing a palette of like not many blocks, only like 3 or 4, including the backgrounds. But the blocks have a lot of versatility. And then here, I discovered pretty early on that 3 like tiles is the biggest jump you can make, just like flat. And then I wanted like the start obviously to be pretty mellow in terms of enemies. Like I don't want it to start with like 15 bosses or whatever hard enemy. Um, but then I also wanted water to signify like a drop that will kill you. So there's a lot of this water in my level. Not a ton of it to the point where it's like there's a drop every. Well, and of course break this rule here immediately. And then these enemies, like I said with the blocks, there's also not a ton of fire-based enemies that you can use in your level. So hotheads are some of them. There's like fire walkers, but I ended up using hotheads a lot. But the problem with hotheads is when you like enter a screen, they don't. Their startup is very long, so I always need some other kind of enemy there to kind of buffer that in order to make it so that you can actually like fight him instead of just kill him instantly. And then here with that shield enemy up here, I was experimenting with a lot of different things up there, but I discovered that you actually can't jump up here once you fall down, so I'm probably gonna need to lower that eventually. But I experimented with like a cannon, a bunch of other stuff, but that shield kind of seemed to be the best because you can't. It's kind of just like that one threat before you get into this like indoor area. That I kind of put him up on this pedestal in order to just like elevate him, make it so you can't just shoot it instantly. Made it a little harder. This you can kind of just skip screens and get over. And then here I found these blocks really early on, and then I really wanted to use them in my level. And then there wasn't any water, so I just made it so that you can fall down here, and then you get a canister for that. I feel like that's pretty useful to have. But when I was playtesting it, a lot of people didn't really know how to use the e-canister, so it didn't work as well as I thought it would have. And then just ladder up. Initially, when I was building my level, I wanted it to be that there were like multiple ways you could go, but that seemed to be a bit too ambitious. And then I put this part in here with the fire pillars and the helmet guy, thinking that it wouldn't be too hard, but it ended up kind of being one of the hardest parts of the level because I didn't realize that the fire things or the fire pillars block bullets or you block your pellets. And then here's another example of me. I used these fire waves in order to kind of buffer the hothead. Made it a little bit more challenging. And just a drop here, and then here, these ones are pretty hard to get over. You can do it, but it's difficult, so I'm probably gonna need to fix that somehow. I don't really know how I would do that. But I use this screen here. I got some inspiration from normal Mega Man levels, or like the Mega Man levels I had already seen. So I used this pipe across the screen in order to make it so the HUD would actually trigger and register that you're there before you actually get there. And then I realized that I need to kind of mark that you need to go down here, because people weren't figuring that out. And then I found these platforms too, and I wanted to use them. But this part is kind of difficult because of that last enemy there. You can get knocked off really easily by that one. And I kind of just put it there because I thought this platforming section by itself seems a little too easy. So I wanted it to like have something chase you, but I didn't realize how difficult those would be. And then I put full health over here, just 'cause I thought we're like halfway-ish into the level, so I thought that would be necessary, but I need to move it so it's more visible. This part, I kind of just wanted like a buffer area that was not too difficult, but it ended up being way more difficult than I thought it was going to be, so it turned into this. I need to add more room to jump and maybe one less enemy. And then this fire pillar I put here, just I don't even really remember why, but it just seems unnecessary. There's no really reason. And then here I'm just buffering the hothead again. The hothead is like, it's a pretty difficult enemy when you're actually fighting it, like when it actually is shooting at you. But I really wanted to keep with my theme of, you know, fire-based enemies, which is pretty difficult. And then I found these guys around the time I was building this. They can jump gaps, but I didn't really set it up right for them to be able to jump across this, which is kind of what I wanted. But it didn't end up working. Yeah, more fire waves to buffer things. This one is pretty difficult. Yeah, that one probably needs to change. I'm just gonna try and get back to where I was as fast as possible. I actually don't... Maybe you can't get over those. So you can change the amount these guys have, and I thought 2 would be like a pretty normal amount, but it ended up being actually pretty difficult. Because if you're not fast enough, you'll just get hit and then die. So during playtesting, I had a lot of people that ended up doing that. There we go. Alright, I'll be back when I'm back at my place. Okay, this is the next screen after that hothead fire wave. This part, I knew I wanted to go back up and be kind of back where the spawn was. I didn't realize, well, I did realize, but I didn't build this section quite how I wanted it. I wanted them to, I just need to like extend the area where they can move. And then that's kind of not very fair. I had a lot of trouble with this area. Just with the jumps involved. Okay, so I'm back here. You can kind of just skip these or fight them. There's no real reason to fight them, but you might get health from it, so I guess. There we go. And then I just really liked these blocks, so I used them a lot. So yeah, I'm just always using something else to buffer enemies. And then I just put a checkpoint there because it's right before the boss, so. And then I put a health there, but you can't get it. I really need to fix that. boss is pretty difficult, but the checkpoint's right here, so it's not the worst. There we go. Alright, so there's the level. I might add more to the boss room eventually to just make it so it's not just you in a room. Maybe some platforms, but other than that, that's it.